So as an arid country in Australia that experiences a fair share of fires and flooding and droughts and extreme weather patterns all too frequently, and with agriculture too being such an important part of our economic well-being as a country, Australia has a lot of experience and expertise in mitigating the impacts of climate change and natural disasters on our food and water security. So we feel that we have a responsibility to share our hard-earned knowledge, experience and unique perspectives with others so that we can all benefit from what we've learnt, just as we're very much committed to learning from others about how we can better tackle the challenges at home. We're very proud of the work that the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, or ACIA, does in supporting cooperation between Australian agriculture and climate adaptation researchers with local partners to implement climate-smart agricultural practices.
ACIA is a statutory Commonwealth Government agency. We've been established for approximately 40 years. We're part of the Overseas Development Assistance portfolio, and we were set up specifically to assist smallholder farmers and rural community improve agricultural productivity, improve livelihood outcomes for smallholder farmers, and to do so in a way today that we're describing a carbon positive approach.
So the Transforming Irrigation in Southern Africa project was established to address a major problem in Africa. The major problem is that governments have invested hundreds of millions of dollars establishing very expensive irrigated agricultural schemes, but only 2/3 of the land area was being farmed. And of the 2/3 that was being farmed, that was not producing more food than the surrounding dryland agricultural fields. Our job in TISA was to partner with our African research and government organisations to find solutions. What we've achieved in the Transforming Irrigation in Southern Africa program is to turn that situation around, to work with our African partners to find ways in which irrigated agriculture can produce more food, can support more jobs and can be profitable for the local economies. The work that we're doing is attempting to address one of the world's major problems. We have a global population that's approaching 10 billion people. We need to be able to feed those people with the same area of land, with limited water resources, and yet produce more nutritious foods. And so what we're doing is sustainable intensification of agriculture, getting more food from the same land with limited water.
Sikhokelwa yi-Australian National University. The TISA project has introduced what we call smart water management tools or soil monitoring tools, chameleon and full stop, that aim at seeing and knowing the soil moisture within the deeper layers of the soil.
With me here I have a chameleon reader. It's basically a simple tool that is used by smallholder farmers. By plugging it in, they can tell at different depths how moist it is. The green color at the top shows that there's a sensor at 15 centimeters. It's indicating that the soil is moist. Then the blue in the center is showing us the sensor at 30 centimeters indicating that the soil is wet, and at 45 centimeters it's also wet. So given these colors, it tells us that the soil's condition is ideal. Therefore, the farmer will make a decision not to irrigate once he sees the readings. They can prepare to irrigate in the coming days.
What we're doing now is we're using this kernel of the work that the TISA produced, which is more sustainable irrigation schemes, and asking some deeper questions about circularity. And what I mean by that is, now that we know irrigation schemes can be more efficient in terms of the use of the water, how can we turn that into livelihood benefits for smallholders, and how can we do so by also reducing our carbon footprint?
What we're doing now with the Circular Food Systems program is working with communities to identify how they can add value to the crops that they've grown, to the livestock that they're producing, so that they capture the most jobs and the most economic return. We're also asking, how can we take the byproducts from that processing and put that back into the farming system so that we're having a lower environmental impact, generating more businesses and lowering the farming input costs. The second key intervention that we've undertaken is a social process of bringing farming communities together to map out the barriers and opportunities for more sustainable livelihoods, to lower their cost of producing food, to increase their access to market and to improve the profits, so that these irrigation schemes are the engine for food security, for jobs and for economic growth in Zimbabwe.
When we started off the project, the irrigation scheme yields were comparable to the dryland yields, which is never supposed to be the case. Now, the irrigation yields have been probably tripled. It means more money for the farmers and more yield, and their livelihood options are growing.
We've had the opportunity to partner with some wonderful researchers, but also the government of Zimbabwe and local communities to come together to jointly identify the problems and prospective solutions, and to bring together our collective knowledge and expertise to ensure that we get a better food system that supports sustainable livelihoods.